In this video, we're going to be checking out the all-new Frankford Arsenal Precision single-stage press, and we're going to load some 308. Let's get to it. Hey there, Kyle Shields from UltimateReloader.com. So, what's included? Well, you got the press itself, of course. You've got a USB cable for the integral light. Do note that this is attached and doesn't look like it's user serviceable. So when you're installing the press, just be careful not to pinch or damage this cable. It includes a wall wart for powering the integrated light itself. You've got the handle, some socket head cap screws. You got a 5mm hex key or Allen key for installing the handle. You've got the primer catch tray, which holds up to 1,000 primers. It's removable, goes at the bottom of the press. Of course, you got instructions, pretty straightforward, and really important, a mounting template so you can mount it to your bench or whatever you need. In this case, Gavin already used this so he can make a custom plate for me. So that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to get this press mounted, and then we'll show you how it works. All right, so I got the press mounted. It was pretty straightforward. The mounting plate that Gavin whipped up worked really well, seemed to line up really well. One of the first things I noticed right after I got it all mounted to the bench is just how smooth and quiet that is. It's very, very solid as well. Definitely compared to the F1, which I used before, it's a lot more of a beast. You could tell it's pretty hefty. Another thing of note that's pretty interesting is the push to release shell holder. So the shell holder locks in, and once you have it locked in, you can rotate the shell holder around. One thing I did note, it is a little stiff to get the shell holder in, so it's a little tough, and maybe that will wear in over time and be a little bit smoother. But overall, once it's there, it seems to work really well. The shell holder is not going to pop out, which on some traditional presses, sometimes the shell holder likes to slide out a little bit if the spring starts coming loose. So this won't happen in this case. Another thing I did is I went ahead and decapped all the Peterson large rifle primer brass that we have for 308. And the decapping, simple operation, worked really well. The primer catch is really nice. It's very similar to the Forester one where it's a container. And for me, that's really satisfying. Not just the sound, but knowing that all of your primers are contained and sealed with an O-ring. So you're limiting the amount of dust and stuff that you're throwing around your bench, which is just a nice bonus, and it keeps all the primers away from the important bits, which is the RAM. So that way it doesn't loosen or add slop over time with primer gunk grinding on your RAM. It's not what you want. So anyway, that worked really well. Everything seems solid. Another thing that I did after I decapped, and the reason I decapped first is so I could anneal the brass. And the cool thing about Peterson is they offer the codes for the amp annealer. And right now they have listed as the Mark II, which is the OG amp Mark II, not the DB, the newer one with the fancy touchscreen. So I went ahead and used that just to be sure. I'm not sure if there are any physical differences, but since we had it, I figured I'd follow it by the book. I entered their code 153 and was annealing within just a few minutes. And you can't tell, of course, by visual, but it works really, really well. And so here we are. Now we are ready to resize the brass. So what we're going to do is use a Dillon 308 standard sizing die, just what we had lying around. I figured I'll use these Frankford Arsenal lock rings again. So in order to set up the die, just like any other single stage press, for anybody that's familiar with that, just going to start threading in the die, raise the ram, and just go all the way down until we touch the shell holder. This shell holder does have a little bit more spring, so I'm going to give it a little bit more crush and just go by feel and cam over per usual. So right there, I'm contacting the shell holder. And let's get a feel for this. Probably about right there. So I'm going to go ahead and get our lock ring locked and use the tool that's included, just like so. All right, let's just verify that. Cool, alrighty. Get that shell holder lined up just slightly at an angle where I like it. Now for sizing wax, I'm just going to be using the classic Imperial sizing wax. You can't go wrong with that. So let's give this a go. This will be the first sizing operation that I've done on this press. Oh yeah. Really smooth. Okay, cool. Let's just do a few more. I might need a little bit more lube on the inside of my case next there. So I'm gonna do that for next time. I did just clean this die as a heads up. We probably used it for some brass processing. I did spray some one shot in there. There we go. That's looking, it's feeling a little bit better now. Always takes a little bit for everything to kind of iron out after, especially after cleaning a die, but cool. I'll do one more just for this demonstration and we'll move on. But yeah, so far so good. No complaints here. Good leverage. Feels solid to me. So yeah, that's resizing. So what we'll do next is get some powder thrown and seat some bullets. And in the meantime, of course, after I size all this brass, I'm going to prime them with the Frankford Arsenal Helm primer just to make this really quick. So I'm gonna do that and we'll set up a seating die. All right, I'm back. So I decided to use the Frankfurt Arsenal Universal Bullet Seating Die. If you're interested in more about this, Gavin did a video on this a while back. It's the first time I used this, so I ran several rounds through, getting used to it and everything. Everything is so far so good, but I'll show you how it works here in a sec. For components, I chose Sierra 200 grain MKX for our 308 load, and we're using 39 grains of Varget. And I'm also using the Frankfurt Arsenal IntelliDropper 2.0. Gavin recently did a video on this. It may or may not be out by now, so if you're interested, go check that out. Overall, it's pretty cool. I own a Chargemaster Link personally. Been using that for a while, and it works great, but what I like about this one is the fact it will speed up and then slow down and maybe even speed up again, depending where it's at on the charge. So let's just demonstrate some bullet seating for you. And when using this die, I found out that I just actually like the traditional method of placing the bullet inside instead of using the window. That's just me, but each their own. If you like the window, you have that option. And again, you know, sizing was really smooth, so obviously bullet seating should be pretty smooth too. And I'll just do one more for good measure here. And there we are. So that is bullet seating operation. What are some of the features and specs of this press? Well, it's cast iron construction. It's really solid, really rigid. In fact, the whole bench is moving more than the press. That tells you something. I noticed the ram is really thick as well. It's compatible with standard dies, which means the 7/8 by 14 thread. I'm not sure if you can use a bushing like the Hornady lock and load bushing. If anybody knows, you can confirm that. I don't think it is. I think it's only compatible with the standard dies from what I saw online. You can load up to 338 Lapua, which is pretty generous. Obviously, handling 308 is no big deal. Use the standard shell holders, like I mentioned before, with the locking feature. Some presses, after a while, the little spring, little C-clip style spring, will loosen up over time and kind of get out of place. I've had that happen on some of my presses. This so far, even though it's limited use, has just stayed completely locked in place. I mean, you can't move this thing. You can't. You'd have to press the button, which is a pretty cool feature. It's fully contained primer catch, which is nice, as I mentioned, for all that primer dust and with an O-ring and keeping it all contained. Integrated press light, which I already mentioned as well. So fully internal there. And with that, I decided to run the tail end of the cable out the back. So that is one option. Another option is you can go through the bottom. And in this case, since we're using an inline fabrication plate, we didn't want to drill through everything, so we're just running it out the back. But you know, if you're mounting it directly to your bench, that is an option as well. It's included in the template. And the price is $385 or $384.99 to be exact. And where it's made in China, but it's designed in the United States and quality control in the United States as well. So if that's important to you, that's also good to know. So what do you guys think? Is this something you're interested in? Have you used Frankfurt Arsenal presses before? If you're looking for something different, maybe check out the time I used the Frankfurt Arsenal F1 to load 6mm Creedmoor. Now that was more of a kit, so if you're getting started, that may be something more up your alley. And if you're not into single stage, they also have a turret press, which Gavin will be doing a video on very soon, and I'm curious to see how that works. So is this something you're going to pick up? Is this something you're going to add to your arsenal, pun intended? Or are you sticking with what you got, and what do you load? Let me know, drop a comment, and until next time, I will see you all later.
I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're watching Ultimate Reloader on TV and want to take advantage of free resources, exclusives, and hot deals, just hold your camera phone up to the QR code, tap on the link, fill out the information, boom, you're getting Ultimate Reloader emails. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, we're on Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, where we've got unrestricted content, and Instagram. Make sure to follow us on all those channels. Ultimate Reloader also has a commercial solutions division serving law enforcement, the military, and the gun industry. We have some unique capabilities, including a comprehensive suite of recoil testing and evaluation capabilities, trigger profiling, and more. Thanks again for watching.